Thank you for humoring me with that.
Oh.
All right. So, I guess a couple of things I want to ask you. You got your start with gospel music, right?
Yeah. Gospel music is a very important part of my history as a musician. Yeah, soul, yeah. Because gospel music embodies so many things. It embodies the history, throughout, the start of America, even before America became a country.
It sounds like struggle and hope at the same time.
Absolutely. So that's what gospel music is, and it's the blues, it's the soul, it's the funk, it's everything.
It's all the good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
That informs rock and roll eventually. But.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly it.
And that's where all the good flavor comes from. It's nothing that we do on our own. You're going to cut that part out because I'm just about to say bad stuff about white people. So, so you're sitting here playing this Hammond organ, and it just gives me all the feelings. So when did you start playing organ?
Well, I started playing organ when I was 11 years old, and I traveled to Europe in a student ambassador program, people to people, student ambassadors. You get to travel all over the world, and I was chosen because I had good grades at the time.
At the time?
Yeah, at the time. Yeah, I was chosen to travel with this group of people and represent the U.S. And, I met this young lady who played piano very well, and, I wanted a challenge, and I was like, I'm going to win her over. I want to play organ. So it had, these two manuals and a row of pedals, and I knew that I was going to play it and learn how to play it and master it. So I learned it, and I came back to the States, and my mom had realized I could play organ of all things.
Yeah.
And so I started playing in the church because the pastor at the time, he heard me after church one day, and he was walking out of the church, and then he walked back and he was like, all right. So
that's a nice feeling.
Yeah. So there's this thing in the black church where anyone could come up and sing at a particular time, and you would have to pick up what they're doing. So you didn't know what key they were going to sing in, and they would start singing. Sometimes it's a special program, just after church kind of program. They'd start singing, and then you'd have to pick up what they're singing, playing whatever key they're singing in. And that was always like the mark of a good musician, to be able to pick up what someone was singing and not even knowing what it was.
You're training your ear.
Yeah.
And you're learning by doing, which is really the best way, I think.
Yeah. So that was part of the black church tradition, is being able to just pick anything up. And you see that a lot in jazz, with improv, and you see that a lot in blues, and just like we were talking about, gospel embodied blues, funk, soul, everything.
So you missed telling me about a really important part of that first story that you just told me about the girl. So did you win her over with the organ or not?
No.
Did you?
No, I didn't know. That's
always the way, isn't it?
She was not won over by my, clever,
That's such a bummer.
Clever skill.
Why not?
I don't know. So.
Well, that's a bummer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't even know where she is today.
I guess things worked out better anyways.
Yeah, I think she's from Texas or something. So.
Well, you don't want a Texan. I don't know anything about Texans. I don't know why I said that.
They're cool.
So, your first album is called Exodus 1, and your second one is called Exodus 2. When do you think Exodus 2 is going to be?
I think around May. Because I've spent a lot of years on this project, and I had to take a break. And just a little background story, I just couldn't write. I had a writer's block for a long time, and I think when I left my last job, that's when things started to open up in my brain. And going through therapy, kind of working through things, and kind of just clearing the space in my mind. And I had to take a break from therapy because I was talking about the same things over and over. And when I found out what the problem was, I was able to write again. So May 2022, I think that's a good time to put these songs out, because a lot of good songs, a lot of very heartfelt songs. I think Exodus Part 1 was a little safe. To be honest. Yeah.
Okay, and this is not going to be as safe.
Yeah, I think there are going to be a lot of angry people, actually.
That's fantastic. That means you're telling the truth when people are mad.
Yeah, and that's the thing about expression in art is that you can be honest, and instead of being the safe person around other people.
Right.
You know, you can be honest with yourself and with others and really share what's on your mind. Even if it sounds abstract, you can really be honest with the art you put out there.
And actually, you know, that does make you feel like a safe person because to other people, because you're being honest with yourself, you're being honest and open and genuinely who you are. So that makes people feel like they can genuinely be who they are around you. And that is not common, really. You know, to be accepted, you have to fit in and not so boring, you know. So, you know, Exodus, the word, suggests running. What are you running from?
A lot of things. Running from the old me that just did anything to be accepted. The old me that was the safe person, the safe black person or person of color to be around, the safe person that was good enough to be a token that people could use to say, I have a black friend, or the safe person that was okay with dating anybody, the safe person that just didn't know himself.
Right.
You know, that I was okay with anything. You know, I was okay with telling or being told, just preach the gospel, when that really meant to forsake your history and to just forget who you were. And some people are like, well, you know, the goal is to be colorblind, and I don't believe that. You know, some people are like, you know, Martin Luther King Jr.'s message was to be colorblind. That's the goal, right? I'm like, well, senior pastor, I don't think that's the goal. You know, I think that's far from the goal, because we all have beauty, and beauty is in our differences. And, you know, we see this, you know, the big picture, we're all made in different ways.
Beautifully and wonderfully made.
Yeah. And I think there's something in just looking at this big picture of people with different colors, not just different colors, but different gifts, different abilities. And if we were the same person, what would that be?
Boring. Vanilla ice cream. And, you know,
which is still good, but, you know, not...
It's good, but it's better when you put, like, nuts on it, you know?
Yeah, you know, chocolate or, you know, like a shell of Reese's or whatever, you know?
So you're talking about, you know, heartbreak and going through counseling and therapy and all of that. And just now you said the thing about how everyone has their own unique beauty. And in your song that you just did for us, you have a line that says, broken, still beautiful.
Yeah.
And that touches me, because I think that that's really very true. It's not still beautiful, but it's beautiful because it's broken. And it's still going, whatever it is, you know, a person or whatever. So tell me about the song that you just played for us. And the name of the song, and I want to know who you're singing to.
Yeah, so this song is Mosaic. And, you know, mosaics, they're built of these broken pieces that just fit together in, you know, a certain order. You make this picture. And, you know, I think we're people who are broken over and over again. And we're trying to figure out how the pieces fit together. We're trying to figure out who we are. And sometimes we try to fit ourselves together in such a way that makes someone else happy, when we just put the pieces together. And broken is still beautiful. There is beauty in our brokenness. You know, like you can get clarity from the wilderness that people talk about as dark and dreary. You know, you get lost, but there's beauty in our brokenness. And I was broken for a while. And this song is actually not dedicated, but I'm singing to a particular group of people, because I'd always gravitated to people who weren't people of color. I did date black women or black young ladies, but then you know, beauty standards at a particular time, I began to believe that, you know, you should, you know, seek a certain person, and you saw that always on the TV ads and, you know, in the magazines. Even though I read Jet and, things like that. Jet magazine, Ebony magazine. I was still seeing this image on the TV that showed me I should be with a certain person, and they weren't people of color. And sometimes, in this song, I talk about how, I ask the question, do you really want me over? Or do they want me over? It's because the parents, I didn't see that they were racist. That dreaded R word. But a lot of them didn't want me over because I was black. And they, I had to date people in secret. Their friends knew that we were dating, or maybe they didn't know. They were wondering who this person is that they're seeing, and they couldn't know. Or they did know, and they were making fun of me because they're like, oh, so-and-so's mom or dad, they don't like people like you, And sometimes I would come over to these places, and, the parents would act like they liked me, but they really didn't. So yeah, this song, and, it says the lyric, I see the door to your home, painting lamb's blood. It's like the Passover, so I asked, like, do you want my love to pass over you? And that was an honest question. Because maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But a lot of the time, they just wanted to be with me to show, hey, I'm cool, I'm down, So, yeah, I was used as a token or
you were hidden away.
Yeah, or I was hidden away. So...
And that's hurtful, and people let their fear inform their behavior and their actions. And so, when people are scared, they don't realize that their fear is hurting other people, or maybe they do realize it and they just don't care. But that's not good, but it made a really beautiful song and really touching and honest. And that's what I think we're all about, really, is honesty and telling the truth. Absolutely. And that's why I'm excited that you said that your album's going to make people angry. Yeah,
yeah, I think so, because I've always been afraid to say certain things because I was afraid I was going to lose my job. And, of course, that job was being around a lot of white people, especially ones who, thought that my life was not real. They thought that what I felt and experienced growing up or throughout my life was not something worth hearing or telling.
Because it made them uncomfortable.
Yeah, and some of these, black and white photos that, weren't taken long ago, they could zoom in and see their family members.
Right.
So yeah, they see themselves or their family on the other side of that, or on the other side of my experience. And it makes them uncomfortable. So...
And that's the only way to face it. That's the only way to heal, is to openly face your things that you're afraid of, things that you're afraid of facing and admitting to yourself. It's the only way to do it. And I hope that people can realize that if they are listening to your album and they're getting angry, then there are some things inside themselves they need to analyze.
Yeah.
But, it's really exciting that it's going to be so honest. That's, my favorite.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I've been waiting for this.
That's exciting. So what do you got going on next? What are you going to do? Who are you playing with? When? Where?
Well, Mardi Gras Festival's coming up at City Roots, and I'm playing with two great bands, The Run Out and George Fetner and the Strays. Those are two bands that I think don't get a lot of playing time or don't get enough playing time because great songwriting, great players in those bands, very honest players, and they bare their souls in their music, and I feel like everyone should go and listen to those records. George Fetner and the Strays, 9-piece band, and The Run Out just put out an album called With Your Eyes Closed, and I think that just the name is a message that that kind of that's like my soul, being out there. What do you see with your eyes closed? It's hard to see things with your eyes closed, and a lot of great messages in those songs on the album, and I think everyone should go listen to those.
That is songs. A really great album. And we were really excited to go and watch you guys play and talk to you guys last week when we did that. Was really fantastic. Yeah. I'm excited to see GFATs play at Mardi Gras. They always play a Meters tune, and I always get so excited.
We'll see what happens this coming show.
You don't know yet, huh?
Yeah,
well, it'll be fun. Maybe
Yeah.
you have to be secretive about it. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Well, thank you so much for sitting with us and playing and, humoring me with my silly introduction.
Oh.
But we'll be around for Mardi Gras and we'll see you then.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.